Hi, Grandma here, and I'm reading the next chapter in A Long Way from Chicago, which is called Things with Wings. What kinds of things are there with wings? Birds, airplanes, angels. But sometimes we say things have wings. In other words, they fly really fast through the air. And this chapter is about something that flies really fast through the air that is not a bird or a plane or an angel. Things with Wings, 1934. When we got down off the train, Grandma was there on the platform. After our first visit, she'd never met us at the train, figuring we could find our own way. But here she was, under her webby old black umbrella to shade her from the sun. But she wasn't there to meet us. She was seeing somebody off. A lady was climbing up into the car behind ours. We caught only a squint in the dazzling light, but knew the hat. It was Mrs. Effie Wilcox. With a powerful arm, Grandma swung Mrs. Wilcox's bulging valise aboard, then a picnic hamper. She stepped back as the Bluebird pulled out. She didn't wave, but scanned the windows to see if Mrs. Wilcox found a seat. Then Grandma turned to us. Now, if you'll remember, Mrs. Effie Wilcox is, Grandma calls her worst enemy. But Grandma really looks after her and takes care of her. She protects her. You could never call her a welcoming woman, but today her mind was truly miles away. I was falling behind with our suitcase, though this year I was nearly as tall as Grandma. Was Mrs. Wilcox going on a trip? Mary Alice inquired. Oh, she's gone for good, Grandma said. Off to double up with her sister, Palmyra. Banks for closing on her house, so she lit out, not wanting to watch them dump her stuff on the road. After Wilcox died, she left the farm and bought the house in town, but she can't keep up with the payments. At noon dinner that day, Mary Alice and I distracted Grandma with all the excitement we'd left behind in Chicago. In July, they'd killed John Dillinger, public enemy number one. He'd been on a long spree, robbing banks throughout the Midwest. The public didn't know whether they wanted him caught or not. He'd provided a lot of entertainment in hard times. Since he stole from banks, he was called a Robin Hood, though he wasn't known for giving to the poor. He'd gone to a picture show at the Biograph Theater not far from our neighborhood. With him were two bad women, and one of them tipped off the cops, who filled him full of lead on the sidewalk. Then, to prove they'd finally nailed John Dillinger, the police put his body on display in the morgue basement. People trooped past for a look. Women dipped their handkerchiefs in his bloody wounds for souvenirs. But he was so bloated and shut up that some people said it wasn't Dillinger at all. Rumor had it he was holed up somewhere else. Mary Alice and I had sulked because neither Mother nor Dad would take